Hey guys, today we're back out here for another training session, and as you can see, today is an absolutely lovely day here. Tonight is actually Christmas Eve, so if I want to get my wishes granted or get some presents from Santa, then I probably should try my best to get in a good sesh. So without further ado, let's get into it. Don't know if you can hear me clearly or not because of the wind noise, but my worst fears have come true. The third band I've broken in a row. The third band I've broken in 3 days, and I think I've only got one left at home now. If I break that one as well, then I will have to buy some new ones. But yeah. So after breaking my resistance band when doing my activation exercises, I moved on to some footwork training. And ideally, you'd like to have a ladder, but since I don't, I used 6 rolled up pairs of socks instead, and you can use whatever objects you find lying around your house. And whether that's a ladder or whatever, these objects are used to mark out a reference point so that your goal is to try not to step on those objects, and you try to accurately plant your feet inside and outside of these objects. And obviously, coordination is required. All these exercises are training your coordination, and it certainly took me quite a while to master them. I certainly wasn't able to get the hang of them on day one. So it takes time to master some of these exercises, definitely. And for each of these variations, I'm doing two rounds, 2 reps of each of these. And coordination is important because in football, when you're defending, you have to do a lot of shuffling movements, and you don't want to get your feet tangled up because you'll trip over like a dummy. And also, even when you're attacking, when you're dribbling, when you're on the ball, it actually requires a lot of coordination of the feet, especially with players like Neymar. You see them all doing all these very quick movements when doing all these fancy tricks and skill moves. This all comes from a lot of SAQs, speed, agility, and quickness training. So all of these footwork, fast feet exercises, all of these contribute to the ultimate outcome of what you see players like Neymar doing. Then I moved on to some functional strength training, and there are a few reasons why I prefer doing body weight exercises like these over exercises that involve added weight. And the first reason is that when training alone, it's just safer to do body weight exercises because most of us, I suppose, are able to handle our body weight quite well. But with added weights, sometimes you might just push yourself a bit too hard, and as a result, that added weight might, like the dumbbell or whatever, might drop on you, and you get injured as a result, or you push yourself, try to push out that last rep, and you injure yourself because you just pushed yourself a bit too hard and, overused some of the muscles. And the second reason is my swimming team coach at my university, BU, he actually advised me to do body weight exercises and stop weight training after assessing some of the muscular imbalances in my body. And so that's what I did. I took his advice and started and have been doing and have stopped all sorts of weight training and only do body weight exercises. But your needs might be different from mine. Some guys they prefer to do they prefer weight training over these functional strength training. But everyone's different, so you know what's best for you. And this is only my way of training, and it's definitely not the way for everybody to train. So that's you can take my sort of training with a grain of salt. And then I moved on to some of these jumps again. Here I'm imitating. I'm trying to make sure I land properly after I jump up. Because in football, there will be times, probably with headers, or you, for some reason, jump up to receive the ball, but most likely from headers. You will need to jump up, and after you land,
there might be a possibility of injuring yourself if you don't know how to land properly on the ground. So there will be times when you land on both feet, and there will be also times when you land on only one single leg. So here I'm really trying to stick my leg on the ground firmly and trying to balance myself before jumping up again. So instead of going hop, hop, hop over all of those stocks quickly, I really try to balance, stick that landing firmly on the ground, try to balance and stabilize myself for a second before moving on to the next jump. And then these are some lateral jumps, some skates. So all of these movements are basically imitating some of the jumps or situations in a real game. So you're less likely to injure yourself because you've already practiced enough the proper way to land from a jump in training. After the injury prevention / strength training portion of my session was done, I moved on to some ball work. And I'd just like to add a few more words about strength training here. Strength training, in a way, helps prevent injuries, because with strength training, you're trying to strengthen the muscles surrounding the joints that are susceptible to image. Joints like areas like the ankles, the knees, these areas are very likely to be injured because in football, with all the quick twisting and turning, these joints are constantly under high stress. So if you can have strong muscles surrounding these joints, these muscles will instead help absorb the stress and the impact that is put on them when you run quickly, twist, or turn. So having strong muscles and doing strength training is essential to preventing injuries. And now back to my ball work. Today I'm doing some passing exercises that are just a bit more complicated than the ones I've done in previous videos. So here I'm doing some Cruyff turns, really trying to master this move, get the ball behind my legs, and then I think I move on to some step overs here, outside step overs to be specific. And step overs is a move that is commonly used in the game of football, so I do try to incorporate it here in my training. So the more I do it in training, I'll get more comfortable as I do it more in training, and I'll be more likely to be able to successfully perform the move in a match. And after some outside step overs, here are some inside step overs. So instead of throwing the leg around the ball with one foot and pushing the ball in another direction with the other foot, you do everything with the same foot here. So feinting with the right foot and going opposite direction with the right foot as well. So this one is a Brazilian, Brazilian move combo. So what I'm doing here is an L drag, and then with the other foot a sole roll, and then I pass it into the ball. It's not likely you'll be performing the exact same move in a match, but if you can get the hang of these more complicated exercises, then with the easier moves, like probably with just an L drag or just a sole roll, you will be able to do those in actual matches. And with this last one, I just couldn't get the hang of it. It's sort of like a Rabona, but then I don't really know how to describe it, but I really struggled with it. But that's the end of the training session today. That's the end of the session. Tried a lot of new moves there. New moves that I got from one of 7MLC's ball mastery videos I watched yesterday night before training. So I struggled a lot with the new moves because, I'm a slow learner. Basically, I need a lot of time to really get the hang of something, whether it's football, especially for coordination stuff, which I'm really bad at, as you can probably tell by now. So like even when I'm in the water, I'm not comparatively, of course, with like people who don't train. Of course, I swim a lot better than them, but if I'm swimming with people who really train, then you'll see how comparatively uncoordinated I am, if that makes sense. But the only thing I can do is to train more. Lionel Messi or Michael Phelps, these athletes, they don't play football or swim the way they do just by sitting on their couch and watching TV. basically it's a repetition of training every day and giving it their all in every training session. So, and that applies to, of course, schoolwork as well. You know, Ali Abdel, they don't become productivity gurus just by, you know, talking about productivity. They actually do it. So, I mean, I can't complain about anything. I just got to put in more work. And again, it's all about the process, the journey, and like I said in another video, and like what Ali Abdel said in his videos, for him, the process of becoming a Gymshark athlete is probably more important than the end goal, the end result of probably becoming a Gymshark athlete like Troy Bolton. Not Troy Bolton, Zac Efron. Troy Bolton is like the character from Zac Efron plays in the movie High School Musical. But, you know, it's the process that really matters. So I'm gonna shut up now because I'm so long-winded, and we're actually gonna head to some place later on. So I'm gonna meet you in a bit. Right now I'm heading to my mom's company's Christmas party. So her company is basically hosting a Christmas party, and we're gonna head there to check it out. So let's go. Headed the wrong way, because obviously your boy's natural habitat is his room, and he lives with a dog and a Pikachu, and he never goes out and meet people.
Foot.
So the party's over, and now we're heading home. And in the meantime, I guess I will show you what Central looks like when it's time people get off of work. So this is the so-called center of Central. So it's the most middle part in Hong Kong you can get. It's the middle part of Central. It's the central part of Central. That's where I am at right now. So the last time I've been to this big ass
Ferris Wheel behind me was actually exactly 1 year ago when I went there with a few of my friends to, you can't really see the words in the middle of that Ferris Wheel, but it's AIA basically. It's an insurance company and they host this carnival every year, and I'm pretty sure they didn't host one this year because of the virus, but yeah, 1 year ago we went there, and to be honest, it was a huge waste of money, but I mean, you get to spend time with your friends, and time is priceless, so I guess it's worth it after all. And I guess I'll show a few pics here and there, so you know, just so you know who I went there with. I went there with Marco and the rest of a few of my other secondary school friends. So that over there is the exhibition center, and 3 years ago, before the public exams, when I was in my final year in my secondary school, I took multiple mock exams there, held by the tutorial center, Beacon. Basically a go-to beacon for all my tutorial classes, and they also hold mock exams. And the tutors there are actually all these superstar celebrities. I actually even took one mock exam, an English one to be specific, an English mock exam over there with Marco. So that's already 4 years ago, because right now I'm in bloody year 2, so it just goes to show how fast time flies by. The ferry's actually a bit wobbly, so we're getting off, but I suppose this could count as my injury prevention work for today as well, since it works on my balance a bit. So I could literally hear people behind me talking about this stabilizer thing, because right now I'm filming, I'm putting my phone on the stabilizer. Basically, when I use the stabilizer, people they look at me more often. When I just film with my phone, nobody really pays attention to me. So, you know, there are pros and cons with using this sort of setup. So behind me is Harbor City, as you can see up there. It's filled with people here because tonight's Christmas Eve, and I actually got to learn something about my parents as well, about their romance/love story. You know, how their first date used to be back here, because this is like the hot spot for Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve's countdown, and you know, basically everybody head here. You know, not only couples, but families, friends, I guess, and of course, loners like myself. Well, at least I've got Didok and Pikachu, so you can say I'm lonely, but I'm not. Now that I'm actually inside Harbor City, of course, you know, to the right, to the left of me, you know, everywhere basically on both sides of me are big ass international brands. So if you have the cash to burn, this is the place to go to, so that you can literally have a hole in your pocket after you do shopping here. So that's enough sightseeing for one day, at least for me that is, because with all the walking I've done, the training session this morning, my legs right now are absolutely destroyed. So hopefully all of you had a lovely Christmas Eve. I'm sure I did. If that truck could shut up for 1 minute, and drop a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you want more, and of course, Merry Christmas. I think I will be I'll be filming another football training session with Marco tomorrow, who will be coming over for Christmas. So still an early Merry Christmas to all of you, and until my next one, I will see you guys later.